honestly don't remember what we saw back then. We didn't take a lot of pictures then. Well, since our tour group was supposed to take off at 12:55, we considered hopping in with a similar group at 10:55. But now that we're off the ship and we've learned that downtown Sitka is basically a shuttle ride away for about 12 minutes, we're just gonna take that, walk around, and then come back and just join with our own group and leave it at that. So we're just sitting on the shuttle waiting to head off. I have been reliably informed by our shuttle driver that today is an extraordinary day in terms of weather. It doesn't get this kind of sunny and warm here in Sitka, even in June. I'm gonna take it as Dad and God both saying, yeah, get out there and enjoy the day. We've made a really nice one for you, and it looks beautiful out there. Take a look at it, take some footage, and let everybody see it and enjoy it with you. And so, we're gonna do that. Thanks, Dad. I do believe we just saw an eagle at the top of one of those trees just to the left of the house. We're getting an eyeful, and we've just gotten off the shuttle. See if I can zoom in on them. I think this is as far as I'll go, but there are unmistakably, I want to say at least 3 and maybe more. Those of you who are good at spotting things like that, go for it. And at the moment, we're on top of a jetty by the marina and just getting a glimpse of the lake that surrounds here. I think this is separate from the ocean. There's a lot behind me to take in. This seems vaguely familiar, but honestly, I couldn't tell you whether we've been here or not. I still am confused. So we're going to try and travel at least the downtown loop that's highlighted in yellow here and see what we can see. Unlike yesterday, we really aren't traveling with any destination or any purpose in mind, so we're just going to go like that. I'm still not entirely sure if this is familiar or not. I want to believe it is, but for the moment, none of it really looks familiar yet. But it has been 27 years, and we were only here a couple of hours, I'm sure. It would seem the top of this bridge is where we've got 2 pairs of eagles, one on either pillar, nesting. Daniel spotted them flying, and now all I can do is catch them while they're nesting, or at least roosting, or what is the term? There's no nest there, they're just sitting there a spell. Meanwhile, the man-made stuff here in the park isn't going anywhere, so it's easier for me to take a picture of. We are right on the edge of the loop now, just about to double back. I did sort of expect Sitka and the loop around downtown to be a little larger simply because, you know, Alaska, and the fact that Sitka is literally the largest city in America from a geographical standpoint, with about 2,000 square miles for something like 8,500 people. Everybody's got all the space they need, but downtown is a little more compact than I expected. The place has its very touristy moments, which I guess since that's its number 3 industry after fishing and healthcare, surprisingly, shouldn't be all that astonishing. The tourist trade has definitely benefited the city of Sitka considerably, including, I guess, paying for upgrades to their high school, especially the stadium. And so even if we were at a place that we recognize, it's been updated to the point where we might not recognize it. So right here in the main section of town, the center of the loop is one of the Russian Orthodox churches, which just goes to show you that Alaska does preserve its roots. Indeed, we've seen Russian Orthodox crosses in cemeteries as we've walked along, both here and in other places. So, yeah, it's really something. The house we're passing, in fact, belonged to a bishop of the Russian Orthodox Church and was later converted into an orphanage for Russian children. I am going to assume that this high school is more than just the one-room building that we see right here. They do seem to have themselves a totem pole, so maybe it's specifically for the Tlingit kids, but in a town of 8,500, you'd expect to see a little bit larger place than all this. Or there are several such high schools in here. Yeah, it goes back a ways too. Our shuttle driver was actually talking about how the sporting stadium has been supplied by the tourism industry, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm assuming that there's either more to this place than that, or there are other places. Now, of course, Sitka isn't entirely Russian Orthodox still. We have a Catholic church behind us, St. Gregory's, and barely 2 doors down, the Episcopal Church of St. Peter by the Sea, which really looks like it just sprang out of a Hallmark card. We were curious about this building over here from a distance, but it seems to be a combination of a museum and a fine arts camp behind us. It's not really meant for us tourists, but more for younger students and so forth. So it's more like, well, we've seen it, we can move on now. I will say that it would seem that a fine arts camp certainly has some, well, artistic playground equipment. I'm not sure if that's a product of it or if it's necessitated by it. This certainly looks like something that your dad would have wanted to build if he'd had the time and ability, and you'd have enjoyed climbing all over as a kid, even as a 50-year-old kid. Leaving the museum and camp behind us, and we've found ourselves on a pier alongside the marina that seems to loop around. You can see most of downtown Sitka behind us. Never mind. It seems that we've just encountered a jetty with no track on it to walk back on. It is a nice place to sit and rest anyway, and still enjoy some of the view behind us. It also seems like we aren't the only ones here, though I don't recognize that ship behind us. Daniel tells me he remembers a playground at least one of the stops that we made in our first trip abroad like this, but to be honest with you, most of the stuff here looks so new that it was probably not there if and when we were here last time around. Now, this isn't necessarily a tourist destination, but this is one of those few places that seems vaguely familiar. I don't know if there were other places that we've been to by the name of the totem, but to be fair, it looks like a pretty generic souvenir store, not unlike one of the ones we find in Put-in-Bay. And yes, I'm constantly comparing Alaska to the Bass Islands, only much bigger. Just when I'm thinking I'm tired of these comparisons to the Bass Islands, they lean into them here. Yeah, I'm not going to say it feels familiar because it's been so long and we're here for such a short period of time. But, and this isn't really a touristy sort of place other than, you know, this is where the tourists would shop. But it still feels mildly familiar. I think we're back into territory that we've trod at one point or another long, long ago. Part of me wants to comment on the furious back rooms, but I really wouldn't know what else to say about it. Still, pop culture keeps up with us, whether we keep up with pop culture or not, it would seem. Well, they told us not to get used to this, but it does make a really nice impression for the place. It is just beautiful out here, almost to the point where the sweatshirt seems almost too much. I do feel sorry for the natives if this is unusual weather, though. Admittedly, I'm not sure I want to deal with the 90-degree temperatures that we have back at home at the moment, but this is really quite nice.